Hi, my name is Bayu. I'm 22 years old. My cultural background is Indonesian. I came here around about 6 to 7 years ago to Australia with no English background, and I started to learn my English in Glenara High School. My gambling story started to around about in high school. My friend actually took me to pub, and when I go to the pub, I saw a lot of TV screens, and my friend actually putting a bets on because he was 18 by that time. And the racing commentator was enthusiastically calling a horse racing, and I can hear the horse hoof from the grass just running. I saw a lot of people in the back just screaming for their horses that they put the bets on, and I was starting to feel really intrigued, and I put myself some money as well. It started with $5. I put my money, I pick a number, I started to develop gambling. And I started to gamble every single week with my friend. At that time when I was 17, I got caught by one of the officers in TAB. When I turned 18, I was actually just really bored in my couch. And when I thought about things that I should do, I started to gambling again. I realized that, oh, I'm 18, I'm a young adult, I'm free now. Every single action that I do is my responsibilities. Sometimes you just want to remain privacy, and that's what I did. I've tried to seek for more privacy, and so I decided to turn from those gambling in retail outlet, to more into an online gambling in my phone. There's like a lot of apps out there, such Ladbrokes, you have Bet365, you have Betfair, and they are very, very interactive. And they also, when it becomes to very interactive, it gets me because they have a lot of offers, such a deposit match offer, they have a money back guarantee, they have a double your bet offer. So that gets me into like wanting to bet more, because that gets you thinking of, oh yeah, you can't lose because you get your money back and you get more money from your deposit. I started to develop more gambling, and I analyzed form, and I watched the video of horse racing. My ego remained high. I started to do more gambling. I started to understand that, you know what, I should work in horse racing, and that's what I did. I worked in horse racing for about 6 months, but I thought that I could become a jockey, but I couldn't, so I quit. During those 6 months, I witnessed really drugs abuse. I saw alcohol abuse and drugs abuse and physical abuse as well. In one particular day, I gambled my whole saving away. Fortunately, it won, and the thing is, I stopped and I came back. I came back for a few months to bet even more, and the amount of money that I won that very day for a few months ago, I lost in that very night. Yes, it is absolutely, and that's what I thought it was. Again, the race caller calling the race very enthusiastically, and it was fun to listen to it. But when, because I thought that $5 is only $5, I thought that I'm gonna remain composed. I thought that I'm not gonna have a gambling problem. It turns out that from a bit of fun into more gambling addiction. Yeah, absolutely, and I think as a lot of young people does, they're trying to feel accepted, and that's what happened that very day. When my friend do gamble, I do gamble as well. Absolutely not. I think a lot of young people also not very well aware of the consequences and the risks that attach to it, and that's what happened to me. I could not see myself having a gambling addiction. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought that, again, I think a lot of young people have a very high ego, and very little control about their financial security. And that's what happened to me. I thought that with my ego is remained really high, I starting to gamble even more, and think that, I'm one of the best and I can make money out of gambling as well. When you do online gambling as well, you can remain composed, you can remain private, you don't have to shout because of you lose. But at the same time, with online gambling, you may not realize that the amount of money that you put in, because in race course, you can put, you can think about, okay, how much do I want to put in? $20? Yeah, okay, $20. But in online gambling, let's say you deposit $50. Sometimes you think about, should I put a bet $50 or should I put a bet $20? And you can't cancel the bet as well in online. It's really hard to cancel the bet when the racing is like 3 minutes away. So yeah, those are the differences between betting in the race course and betting outlet and online gambling. With online gambling, I believe it's more, you get more option. For example, if you're betting in the retail outlet or race course, you need to wait until you get the paid out. Whereas in online gambling, you instantly get the money as soon as your horse won, and you get a lot of options, such as I previously mentioned. You get a lot of things that a lot of young people think that they cannot lose. So yeah. Yes, absolutely. I think winning for a gambler is a lifeline in a hospital, and that's how I see it. It's like, oh, there's more life to it. And when a gambler lose, for example, 5,000 a day, they always remain optimistic about it. They will come back the next day. They will come back the next week to think that they still have the opportunity and the chance to get back their money. And they don't really gamble responsibly as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a simple ad. A lot of young kids, actually, not just young people, young kids that is their age is 7 or even 8, they can state, they can actually tell their parents, or like, oh, there is Ladbrokes or Crown Bet. So there's a really strong correlation between sports and gambling. It's kind of like secrecy. So it remains secret between you and them. You don't tell your parents that you have a gambling addiction or even you gamble, because I think with the multicultural background, it's a taboo. It's taboo to talk about this thing, because as soon as you tell them, oh, mom or dad, I have a gambling addiction, as soon as you tell them that, I think, and I don't want to assume, but according to my experience that I encounter with my parents, they see me as one of the failure, because it's bad, because they work very hard for you to come to Australia, but in fact that you are just a gambler. So it does give them a sense of disappointment as well. And in terms of faith and my culture as well, it's a very taboo thing, and especially in my faith, it's very prohibited. One of my friends actually get me out of gambling. So I told her right away about my story, about what happened as well. And she's trying to empower me by just saying like, you'll get through it. And she sent me a volunteering link, and I started to look up to that. And yeah, at the same time, I'm starting to explore a volunteering option is one of the platform for me to get away from gambling. I contacted Beyond Blue, which is part of the Organization of Mental Health, and then I went to psychologists to see if that could help my to minimize or even eradicate my gambling issues. Yeah, absolutely. And I think again, with the volunteering, it really helps me, because you met a lot of young people out there and brainstorming about things that they care about. And when you meet those kind of people, when you meet a lot of professionals out there in the field, it gets yourself thinking about gambling is one of the issue, but also learning about their culture, learning about differences and diverse community can really impact you significantly, positively. Obviously, volunteering is one way to get away a platform from gambling as well. I think my message for young people out there, to understanding the consequences of an action, understanding how one particular action can impact you in the very long term, about your financial stabilities, your education, and your relationship with your parents and your friends as well. So I think, yeah, understanding the consequences, understanding your responsibilities if you are become an adult, because there's so many things out there you can immerse yourself in community, such as do volunteering is one thing. Remain composed, remain understanding the consequences of an action, and do volunteering is very helpful, because one thing is you can you can boost up your resume, but also at the same time you have fun, you met a lot of people, you met a lot of culture, you met a lot of diverse background.